Welcome to lesson 5.4 of your Dynamic Small Business Search course. In the last lesson, we took a stab at writing our first draft of the capabilities narrative. We went through with high-level keywords and then an opening sentence and then paragraphs. In this lesson, we're going to take our second draft, and we're going to create a second draft of our capabilities narrative based on examples from our competitors. Now, I can go into DSBS and show you some more competitor profiles, but I already did that in at the beginning lessons of this module. So you can go back and take a look at how I did that. But in there you see that I type in the keywords that I'm trying to use as my high level, and I take a look at their capabilities narrative, and I see some examples. So I write those examples down, and you can do this yourself in the worksheet I have for the capability narrative, that part of the DSBS checklist. When you start writing it down, you want to find high-level keywords you see your competitor using. You want to find 10 or 15 examples that look good to you, where you look at it and you say, wow, that's exactly what we do. Now, clearly, you don't want to ever steal somebody's work, right? You're not trying to do anything unfair, but you want to look at it and get ideas from it. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you rewrite it into your own words, in your own language. Because, for example, I do training. Well, everybody who does training, we basically are doing something very similar, and it's just a different way of how we say it. So go find those examples and move forward on what you see. One of the other things I want to do on this lesson, though, is walk you through the next evolution of my capabilities narrative as it relates to using competitive information. So let me go ahead and switch to the next slide here. The first stab I took at my opening sentence, if you will, where I'm trying to say, hey, here's who we are. You remember this part. It was SV MacPack, led by an experienced and proven executive in the federal market, provides 3 key services to federal agency customers: training, scanning, and records management. So that was a good stab, but after looking at the competitors' information out there, I rewrote another stab. And here I kind of changed it around a little bit. Instead of starting off with my company name, I put that into the middle of my profile or my opening sentence. And here I changed it to led by an experienced and proven executive in the federal market and a team with over 100 years professional experience. SV MacPack provides 3 key services to federal agency customers: training, scanning, records management. So that was, for me, a next evolution on the opening sentence. So the next part was the first paragraph, and this was on training. You remember my first opening paragraph, my first paragraph for training was, we develop and deliver training courses that are highly effective at delivering the necessary information while maintaining a high level of student participation. After researching what's out there with the competitors and finding cool little lines that I saw, the next thing I came up with was this. Now, actually, it turns out this is a very big paragraph, and you'll see I'll chop it down further later. But here, my second pass was 3 times as big as my first pass, just from reviewing the competitors' information. I thought that was really handy, right? I'm trying to tell the customer, we design, develop, and deliver training courses that are highly effective at delivering the necessary information while maintaining a high level of student participation. Customers can access on-site and off-site options that are either instructor-led or web-based to include remote students' need. Post-training options include knowledge-based articles, videos, as well as refresher webinars. We deliver training on numerous topics such as technology, career training, management, and leadership, all delivered by industry subject matter experts such as Microsoft Most Valuable Professionals, Certified Scrum Masters, etc. So this, to me, when I went through this part, I actually felt really proud of myself. I'm like, yeah, we do that. We do instructor and web-based led. We have a lot of material we use as leave behind. Well, none of that was in my first paragraph, right? My first draft that's inside the box. So I got a lot better, I think, with communicating the message. Now, you'll see that I shrink this down as we move forward, but this stuff is still very good that I'm keeping and using in my responses to the government on sources sought or RFPs for proposals. So there's nothing wrong with the content. I'm just trying to make it tighter as we go along. So let's take a look at the next paragraph. This was on scanning. So in this case, you see that we have we help the federal government free up valuable space by scanning paper files and applying metadata. Well, as I looked at the competitors' way of saying certain things, and here some of the competitors, by the way, I didn't just look at DSBS. I actually, on this one, went out to a couple of websites to large companies, very, very large billion-dollar companies that are doing something similar, and tried to see what they were saying as well. Because scanning, there wasn't as much in DSBS to do this. So keep in mind, when you do your homework, you don't just need to keep it in DSBS. If you know some true competitors that you have, go out and take a look at their stuff. Microsoft, ironically, is a competitor of mine, but because I'm a partner of theirs, they also provide a lot of their marketing material to me to reuse anyway. So as long as you make sure that you're rewriting stuff and truly rewriting it, and you're just using their stuff as ideas, then that's totally okay. So here I took a look at what I saw in the competitors, and I wrote, we help the federal government increase access and reduce storage costs by scanning and converting paper files and records into digital formats that allow for centralized cloud storage. Together with our document management services, our customers can reliably plan for electronic storage and retention of these digitized files, including final disposition. Now, I absolutely didn't copy this from anybody, and in fact, I think you'll be able to see that I changed it even again going forward. But based on the ideas I got from the competitors, I was able to make this so much more compelling, even to me when I read it now, because I've done this weeks and weeks ago. When I've done this now, I look at this and go, wow, this is great. This is the stuff I'm trying to communicate to my customers. So this is that next evolution when you're able to analyze what your competitors say against your first stab. You always want to have your first stab so you see yourself evolving. Let's go ahead and get that last one. And so this was the records management one. And I'm going to skip reading the box for you and get to the part that I like where it changed. The cool part, though, is I didn't change the beginning. The beginning seemed to hit correctly. So led by a NARA certified records manager, we help our customers maintain compliance with internal records management policies and NARA and OMB regulations. We have experience developing electronic records management systems for government customers and DoD agencies to maintain FRA and PRA compliance. One of the things I learned here is this last sentence. In addition to supporting file plan, policy, regulation compliance, we help our customers evaluate and implement DoD 5015.2 compliant records management software and tools. That last sentence was nowhere in my first stab at this, but that is exactly how I talk to the customers. I talk to them about file plans and regulation compliance. This 5015.2, for those of you who aren't familiar with records management, that is the regulation that guides records management tools basically in the federal government. People say, is it 5015.2 compliant? I didn't even have that anywhere in there, but it's such a great buzzword that somebody might search on. And so it was good that I was reminded about it from somebody else's profile. Anyway, so there we have it where we hit that last one. You saw us walk through our competitors' activities. When you take your first stab and look at your competitors, you should be doing what I'm doing. You're taking your first paragraph or first draft of it and rewriting it. You want to improve it a little bit at each time. It doesn't take a lot of time, especially if you use a whiteboard or something that kind of makes it kind of quick, but you want to go through this process because you improve it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is create a final draft in the next lesson. So that concludes lesson 5.4. I'll see you in that next lesson where we're going to get started on our final draft.